So have a great
Yeah,
cast, and we'll lead y'all into it.
great. Yeah, we're
Let's
gonna be
go.
casting this one. I'm excited to see these two teams. So Sundowners over here on the purple side, and Entropic Fleur over on the. Is it Fleur? I feel like I'm not French, so I don't know. Are we just saying like Fleur and that's okay, or do we have to like do the French accent? I don't
I don't know. I always say Entropic Fleur, so I don't know. Same
know.
here. I'm
Entropic
very
Fleur it is. So let's see. So we've got our paper bands, Delphox and Hoopa, but we've also got the Umbreon and Urshifu band from Sundowners, and a Charizard band. It looks like we're also going to be seeing Slowbro potentially. And I think these paper bands and the season Articuno League bands really make it interesting. They keep the picks interesting and they keep the game interesting, especially when Pokemon Unite tends to settle into these like specific metas, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. That's one of my favorite things about the Articuno League is it really pulls out some of those more niche picks and you're like,
Mhm.
"Oh, dang. I'm not used to playing against something like that." So it really throws teams for a loop. And it looks like we've got a Blaze pick, textbook first pick,
Yeah.
and it looks like we're going to go with a tree and leaf pick from Entropic Floor.
Yeah, so I mean, as we're saying that it keeps things interesting, we are still getting the very solid expected picks out the gate. Blaziken, if you guys watched Worlds last night, the finals, oh my god, Tempo's Blaziken was insane, and the Fennel's Blaziken, like oh my god, Blaziken was doing crazy numbers in Worlds. Same with Leafeon and Trevenant, so those also not surprising to see from Entropic Floor.
Yeah, totally agree. I was actually pleasantly surprised this weekend with all the Leafeon play.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like in NA it has definitely fallen in the brackets for us, but the stocks are definitely still there for Leaf.
Oh
Leaf is
yeah.
still a
Oh yeah.
great pick. And I'm very excited to see what teams do if they watch Worlds, see if they change up any of their play styles.
Yeah, yeah. I'm interested to see. There was a lot of different regions going for different types of strategies. I think NA kind of had a little bit of something going in and then tried to adapt later in the tournament. And one of those things was the Leafeon. I feel like NA fell off of Leafeon and now it seems to be back, which I thought it never fell off. And it looks like we are going to be having the Scyther pick on Sundowners. I love this pick, especially into something like an Espeon Leafeon. I think Scyther is great here.
I absolutely do. And I like the answer that Entropic Floor picked in their top laner with the Metagross there, just because, it's tanky and, Scyther can't take down a tanky mon very easily. So I think
Hmm.
these cops are going to play very interestingly into each other. And I'm very excited to see what everybody does.
Which one do you like better, just looking at the overall final picks that we have?
Based off of what has been popular in NA, I think Sundowners might win the first draft here a little bit.
Hmm.
Cramorant is just an extremely hard pick to go
Yeah.
against right now. So I think Cramorant can really reign superior here, but you
Hmm.
never know. It just depends on how, comfortable both teams are on these picks.
Yeah, I think what's interesting is that both teams kind of have some early scaling a little bit. There's a couple EVs, there's the Blissey, Cramorant, all those evolving early in the game, but the Metagross is the one thing that kind of is a later scaling Pokemon. So Entropic Fleur is going to have to spend a bit of time trying to make sure that this Metagross gets online as fast as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's got a great lane partner with it to do so. I love Eldegoss right now. Eldegoss's early game in the top lane is just absolutely crazy and incredibly hard to play against.
Yeah, absolutely. And here we go. Game number one between Sundowners and Entropic Floor. And we are already off to the Cramorant, moving into this central area for Sundowners. I think that Cramorant, though it's great in lane, it can clear the first jungle, and then they probably will be sending that Scyther or potentially that Blaziken in for that second clear.
Yeah, I think that's a interesting choice. Not what I would have thought, not what your conventional thing was. I definitely assumed Scyther was going to wind up there. And of course, we're getting the textbook early gank from the Leafeon on the side of Entropic Fleur. Leafeon's early gank is just so good.
Oh, yeah, there they go with a Razor Leaf jumping in on the Cramorant, but not able to make anything happen. The front line is still there, 3v3 in this top path. There they go, jumping in with that Razor Leaf, is able to secure that farm before the Cramorant can do anything. And notice the Cramorant only grabbed the red buff and also came up to answer that early gank. Very interesting.
Yeah, I think I like that a lot. It's really smart because then that leaves, the blue buff and some of that other jungle farm for that Scyther to get online faster bottom. And that is not an easy mod to deal with early on.
Yeah, there's the birds. Look at the Leafeon jumping in on this Blissey, and it is Metagross taking down the Chansey actually right there. They get that level 5 pretty early, which is fantastic. And the Gyro Ball picks up Cramorant for a 2 KO, and Leafeon also picking up that Combuskin. So the 4 top rotation really working out for Entropic Fleur in the beginning of this game.
Yeah, that Zeta Division tech has been so popular as of late, and it proves to work 9 out of 10 times. Getting that Metagross online is going to be huge for the team of Entropic Fleur here. And if we're looking at levels, I'd say they're still pretty even, though, considering Sundowners has that level 7 Scyther already.
Yeah, level 7 Scyther. Wow, and here comes the Metagross with the Leafeon 3 on 3 as these birds spawn, and they just get obliterated immediately. Scyther jumps in on this Metagross, taking them down. Leafeon is going to have to try to run away, but the eject button is used on the Cramorant, and the shield from the Razor Leaf on Leafeon is able to keep them safe, and they do grab 11 points before they inevitably go down.
Absolutely. That was a really smart play there by the Sundowners. That Scyther was able to just knock out that Metagross so quick. But once it is a Metagross, I feel like it's going to be a different story there.
Oh, 100%. Gyro Ball with the shields. If you can hit enough Pokemon with the Gyro Ball shields, it is absolutely unbelievable how tanky that Pokemon gets. 720s are now up. Leafeon once again getting that early Razor Leaf on everything, and they jump in trying to grab the Scyther. They have to pop the full heal, and it looks like the Entropic Fleur team is just going to have to back up a little bit. Scyther having to just move away, just securing their own farm as Entropic Fleur moves up to this Regieleki. We could be getting a bit of a fight here as they do so. Scyther looking into the back line. They do use their Unite move, and Blaziken is there with the overheat for the secure. That was a surprising turn of events there.
Yeah, absolutely. Scyther is absolutely massive right now, and they just got their Blaziken online. Level-wise, Sundowners are just ahead right now. I am curious to see how Entropic Fleur is going to answer this, but they absolutely can.
I think so too. I mean, there is the bottom path objective up right now, Tree, with the Bighorn Leech right there to try to disposition that Scyther, who is huge, level 10 already. And Scyther's Unite move comes up fast as well. So they'll probably be able to get this back pretty soon. And it looks like they're just going to go ahead and take this Registeel on their own. Trevenant might be able to try to stop this, but no one else from Entropic Fleur is in the bottom path right now. They are all in that central area, but this actually might leash. Scyther's not finishing it up quick enough, and it is the leash. It almost cut down. So Entropic Fleur might be able to get down there right now, Garrett.
Yeah, absolutely. That was very unfortunate for them. And I wanted to comment, I did find it very interesting that both teams did play for the Regieleki before the Basement Regi first. And it looks like we have a fight going down here.
Computing Crush comes out. The wall is up, trapping the Blissey. The Bliss Assistance then comes out on top of this Cramorant as they used their Unite move as well, too, going down right now. But it looks like they're just going to have to back up from there. Trevenant getting very, very low. Here goes Scyther. They missed the dual Wing Beat, but it is still going to be enough to take down that tree. Zen Headbutt now coming out from the Metagross. The big Gyro Balls are there, but still this Scyther is absolutely huge right now, popping another Unite move, getting a 2 KO, but the Emerald 2-step on the answer back. They do get the Scyther, but the Leafeon going down to the Cramorant in return.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a big pick for that Leafeon on the team of Entropic Fleur, jumping it all the way up to level 11. And that will be very helpful for them, keeping that Leafeon big as well. Right now, looking at Sundowners, we got 140 and Entropic Fleur to 103, so it's still a pretty close game right now. But I think the Entropic Fleur team needs to just, sit back and get some levels and really attack when they're on the same power level as the Sundowners.
I think the Leafeon, I mean, the inting for the KO there might not be looked at as a great move because they obviously were going to go down. But since Entropic Fleur is behind, getting a big pick like that is really important at this point in the game. Looks like Blaziken just going to go ahead and secure that Regieleki in the top, and Entropic Fleur has decided to push into the bottom path. The Rubble Rouser is out, but Trevenant with a big Horn Leech pushing them away. Espeon looking for a 27. They will get it. Crustle going down as well, and a big overcap for Entropic Fleur in the bottom path. That puts them nearly in the lead, but Regieleki actually went in top as well, so still a close match, but Sundowners holding on to that lead right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I really like that play there from Entropic Floor, knowing that Blaziken was up top ripping that Regieleki. It's just unfortunate that they weren't able to get anybody up there to defend it, because now Sundowners have that win con Regieleki if they get one.
Ooh, Blissey getting caught out there with that wood hammer. A little bit unfortunate, but if anyone's going to get caught out, the support is not that bad. Looks like Sundowners is going to go ahead and grab this Regice for free, while Entropic Floor is going to push into the top path. Looks like they're just going to go ahead and trade goals here. Score remains pretty even, but Sundowners maintaining a decent lead right now, and it looks like they're just going to be having to play for Rayquaza at this point. Leafeon trying to steal that away from the Scyther, but Scyther comes in with a Unite move a little bit late, but Scyther's Unite move cooldown is low enough. They'll be able to grab that back before Rayquaza.
Absolutely, and same with the Leafeon there. Leafeon tried to use its Unite move to fight back with that Scyther. Unfortunately, it just did not work out for them, but they will get that back before the Rayquaza fight as well.
Check out the Unite moves as well. We're looking like Entropic Floor is going to have to farm back that Leafeon and that Espeon Unite move, while it looks like Scyther is the only one missing their Unite move on Sundowners. So they'll be able to get them back. I mean, Blaziken, as we know, has Unite moves up constantly because they don't really have a Unite move. They just are able to switch their stances. Bit of a scuffle breaking out right here. Crustle getting caught with a wood hammer, and as it looks like Trevenant actually pushing in here, getting caught out by the Blaziken. Double KO right there. Espeon also going down. And the Blaziken with a big overheat, but it's not enough. Gyro Ball is in on 3, but Metagross going down. Wow, what an 3 KO for Scyther. That is absolutely huge for them. This could just be Sundowners' opportunity to finish this game with everybody down right now.
Yeah, absolutely. What a big play from Sundowners. That was definitely a risky fight for Entropic Fleur to play. Going into Rayquaza, though, the levels are pretty even here, and it looks like we're going to have the Sundowners possibly bait them in to just try to start fighting again.
Yeah, the Unite moves are out right now. Gatling Bolt Missile is in this tall grass right here, as it looks like 3 members of Entropic Floor are still up in the mix. Metagross going down, getting picked off one by one. Blaziken with a 2 KO streak. Leafeon on 1 HP, trying to escape right here, but the Rock Tomb picks them up, and Blaziken picking up a triple KO. Every member of Entropic Floor is down besides Espeon, who's the only chance that Entropic Floor has to be able to secure this Rayquaza. It's going to be pretty close. They jump in with a Psychic Solaire Unite move. If they get it, they could, but it is Overheat, making that secure, and Sundowners going to take this first Rayquaza, and I mean, they have a lot of shields, but it is possible that Entropic Floor stops them here.
Absolutely. And I find it interesting nobody went to backcap on that Regieleki that they got in to the home base there at Rayquaza. But Sundowners looking great in that fight there, and you know that Blaziken is just such a good secure, it's really hard to beat out at any point in time.
Oh yeah, the Overheat secure. I mean, I feel like at Worlds we were seeing a lot of random secures that weren't Overheat or Wicked Blow. They were coming in like, it was crazy. It was like, oh, there's Overheat, there's Wicked Blow, there's Snipe Shot, but it would be like a stored power from Espeon that would end up getting it.
Yeah, and you know, there's obviously those a lot of Blissey secures too. Shout out to the Blissey players that got those Blissey egg secures.
Oh yeah.
But it does look like Entropic Floor is trying to make a push back here. 650 to 243, a lot to do with 11 seconds left. We'll see what they can do.
They may as well go ahead and push in here, but Overheats are out. Compute and Crush does come down, but not enough to create the wall. It does not find 3 members of Sundowners right there. Either that or it got canceled, but it is still not going to be enough. Sundowners going to take your game number 1, and what an interesting game. I feel like it was pretty even all game, and then we got up to that final Regieleki, and Entropic Floor just everybody ended up going down right before Rayquaza, and that was just kind of it for them.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Such a, you know, tight game throughout until that very point. And I think it just goes to show Crustle is still a good defender because Crustle had some really big plays with that Rock Tomb and Egg Scissor at that fight, stunning out a lot of the team of Entropic Fleur.
And we see that one KO from the Crustle that you just said with the Rock Tomb. That was their one KO of the game. Otherwise, 10 assists and 96,000 damage from that Scyther right there. $96,000. Holla. If you guys get into the Heights reference, I don't know. If that makes sense.
I do. I get you. I
Okay,
get
Garrett
you,
got
girl. Don't you worry.
Nobody got me. I know Garrett got me.
Absolutely. Scyther looking absolutely phenomenal in this first game. Also, shout out to their Blissey 113 on the heals. Those are some massive heal numbers. Just goes to show how consistently good Blissey will always be.
Blissey, yeah. Blissey is so good. I feel like Clefable's also still good and people just like fell off of it super hard for some reason. But Blissey with the Bliss Assistance Unite moves, they were on point the entire game right there for that team. Sundowners looking really solid, but you can see with the score line, Sundowners was maintaining a consistent score lead, but Entropic Fleur was right there until that last fight where they all just got picked off one by one, and unfortunately it just fell apart for them. So I think they're going to have to make some adjustments here in game 2, but they did look pretty good, Garrett.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think that with a few adjustments here, the tide could change very quickly of these games.
Yeah. What do you think if you were going to switch up the draft at all for Entropic Fleur going into this game 2? What do you think they should focus on? Their comp was great, but I can't think of anything specific that would have been causing them any kind of issues there.
I can't either. Truly, I think the one big thing was they got Metagross to that level 5 really early, but then
Mhm.
that mid game, the Metagross didn't get to Metagross for quite a while, and you had that Scyther getting to level 9, and then that Blaziken coming online before Metagross got online, and those are
Mhm.
really hard mons to deal with. So I think if they get that top laner online just a tad bit sooner, it can stay even more close throughout the rest of the game.
Yeah, I think Metagross is really, really solid, and it remains solid, even if people. Oh, sorry, Kelsey. Hold on. So sorry. So sorry. Wait. I got this. Sorry. I came in fat. I came in a little bit fast, so I forgot that I had to put the ears on. No, we're good now. We're good. Anyway, I think Metagross is still really solid, but again, getting online fast is kind of the name of the game. And since Scyther stayed so far ahead the entire time, even with the big Gyro Ball shields, and we saw Metagross did like 95,000 damage. Even with all that
Mhm.
damage, Scyther was still just able to rip right through them. And I don't know if that's an issue necessarily, or if that's just a really good Scyther, but we'll have to
Yeah,
see what they do heading into our next draft here.
yeah, I'm interested to see if the bands change up at all. It looks like the outside bands are still the same with the Delphox and the Hoopa here.
We do have Slowbro ban and Umbreon ban, same as last time. Solid bans. They're really, really good defenders. We saw so much Umbreon in Worlds. Slowbro was banned quite a lot, so I'm unsurprised to see these bans once again. We also have Charizard banned, but this time the Blaziken is going to be banned instead of the Ceruledge, so this is an opportunity for Entropic Fleur to grab that pick 1.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a really smart move from the Sundowners. Blaziken is an incredibly hard mon to play against in the right hands. Knowing darn well from playing top lane, I hate playing against a good Blaziken.
Oh, absolutely. It's like the new Buzzwole. Like when Buzzwole was
Oh my
absolutely broken
gosh.
and it was just the
Yes.
worst thing to play against ever. Yeah, that's Blaziken now. But we don't have Ceruledge getting picked up just yet. Instead, we have that Trevenant. And Sundowner's going to stick with the Blissey Cramorant, which I thought was a really, really good pick for them in the last match. Sticking with that makes a lot of sense going into game 2.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the Blissey Cram is a good pick. It looks like they're sticking with LD on the side of Entropic Flora and the Espeon. So
Mhm.
far, we're sticking to some of the same stuff here.
Oh, we do have Gyarados coming out. We didn't see a Gyarados in the last match, so that will likely be our top laner here. And the Crustle is coming back again. That was really solid, as you pointed out in the last match. Crustle did really, really well. But look at Entropic for the hovering Talon. No, they're not going to hover. Of course, they're not going to pick Talon. They wouldn't pick Talon. You won't. Come on, please, just do it just once. But they are hovering the Sword, which could be a
Ooh.
really interesting pick. I mean, that could be a good adjustment for them instead, but they are actually going to go with Scyther Azumarill. What a surprising turn of events.
Yes, I thoroughly enjoy both of these picks. If anybody watches me in the top lane, we all know that I am a
Oh,
big
you love the
Azumarill truther. So very excited to see this pick from the side of Entropic Fleur. And I also think it's a really smart choice to take that Scyther away from the team of Sundowners. And we
Yeah.
have the answer here with a Zero Aura. They said we were
Yeah.
going to see more after Worlds, and here we go.
Yeah, we're getting the Zera again. And something I noticed at Worlds is a lot of focus bans on your damage carries, especially with speedsters. And we are seeing the focus ban on this Zera Aura, which I think is really, really solid, especially in competitive play, because if you can live just a little bit longer to get another move out, that could be a huge game changer. So I do like it for especially competitive play. But I also agree with you, taking the Scyther away was a really solid pick because even if the Zera Aura is still really good on Reese, taking the Scyther away has to make them adjust. So you're forcing an adjustment out of Sundowners that maybe they didn't want to make necessarily.
Right. And absolutely, it's such a smart decision to do that. I know from my experience, whenever somebody takes a pick away from you and you have to adjust, it can change your entire um flow. And so,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of throws off like what you were planning on doing. And if you adjust, you adjust. And if you don't, well, good luck.
Yeah, I want to watch this top lane, especially just because I want to see what this Azumarill does. Just for Garrett's sake, because you love Azumarill so much. But looks to be not happening. So never mind. It looks like maybe we had a potential disconnect or something like that. Kyle, if you could provide some insight. Okay, we did have a bit of a disconnect. So, are we just going to go ahead and pause here, or do we have to redraft or anything? Okay. Oh, okay, so it was a misclick on a Zoomeril, unfortunately. So we
Uh,
won't see. So we won't
darn.
see the Azumarill sad moment. So it seems that Garrett's still the only person that believes in Azumarill.
You know, I have always been a big believer of picking those comfort picks because throughout my time in the competitive scene, I have always been more comfortable on mons that aren't necessarily meta.
Hmm.
So I'm very used to playing outside the meta, but I feel like if I'm comfortable on it, why not?
Yeah, I feel like so we were talking about this yesterday with when me and Kyle were watching Worlds, and I think a lot of people get too caught up in what they assume is meta, and some Pokemon are obviously better than others. Like, yeah, Cerulege is broken right now, so like you're gonna want to play Cerulege
Mm.
if you can get it. Charizard's pretty broken right now. Slowbro's pretty broken. Like there are things that are better than others, but I think that this game is not solved, and many seem to think that it is. Like the meta has been carved out. These are the picks that you're allowed to pick, and that's what it is. So I feel like having people willing to try out some different types of picks or go back to some early comfort picks is really good for the game because it does bring about new strategies and it does bring about new opportunities for people to pick up on different things just to keep the game fresh, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And it definitely throws teams for a loop sometimes because, they
Hmm.
might not be used to playing against that Mon or, this, that, or the other. So you really have to adjust to certain Pokemon, and just how they play. So like I said, I will always be a big defender of people playing their comfort picks.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I think Zeraora coming back and being like really good Zara didn't get a recent buff or anything. It's just somebody was like, maybe Zara's not bad. And they tried playing it, and then everyone was like, wait, actually Zara's not bad. And like nothing happened to it. It didn't get like a different buff or anything. But people realized that it was pretty good, so people started playing it.
Yeah, and I think watching some of these Eastern teams play was very interesting to see like their metas. Because there was tons of Mamoswine play, which, we don't see that in NA
Yeah.
barely ever. And I personally love the pick of Mamoswine when I'm playing tank. I think Mamo is one, super fun, and
Yeah, a
two, the
beast.
CC is absolutely incredible.
Yeah. Did you know every single move in Mamoswine's kit stuns?
That's just
Every
absolutely
single move.
crazy. That's
And there
insane.
is not a move in Mamoswine's kit, even the early moves, everything stuns. Isn't that crazy?
I've never thought about that, but putting that out there, it's like, oh my gosh, yeah, it actually does. And,
Hmm.
that is crazy. And, I'm still a big believer. This is one of my favorite things, and one of the most annoying things to go against is Ice Lane. Mamo and that Alolan Ninetales.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
want to see more of it. Alolan Ninetales is still also such a good pick. And, a lot of people don't play that either.
Yeah, people
So,
are sleeping on it. We do
absolutely,
have,
especially mid.
instead of the Azumarill, it is in fact Gardevoir. So we're going to see a bit of a double mage comp for Entropic Fleur, which is going to be interesting because Sundowners grabbed the Talonflame in response, which is kind of the double mage killer, if I had to pick something, because it can just walk, right, or should I say fly right in there and land on the heads of both of those mages.
Absolutely. Being somebody that played mages for a very long time, that Talonflame is scary to see.
Oh yeah. And it probably will head into this jungle early, I assume, as we do have Espeon, Phantom heading to this bottom path, and Gardevoir going to be taking the jungle for Entropic Floor. It has a really, really solid um, level 5 gank, so getting the Ralts to a Kirlia early is definitely very good. Talonflame jumping in, who is not jungle, because of course it's not. Why would the caster be correct? Jumps in, tries to make that secure, but it is in fact that little Dwebble grabbing it on the bottom path.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's a very interesting choice to put the Talonflame in the bottom path. I definitely expected it to maybe even see a jungle invade from it, knowing that the Gardevoir would probably be in the jungle. It looks like we
Mhm.
do have 3 top here with that early gank from Cram again, and they are trying to get that Magikarp online as fast as possible.
Yeah, we also saw Scyther went down early, so already an assist for the Magikarp, and they're getting pretty close already to the Gyarados. If they can get another assist or a KO, that would be really solid. Scyther getting very, very low here, but they are able to get out, and Kirlia does have the level 5 Entropic Floor moving up as 4 to try to secure as much of this farm as possible. I think they did get most of it there, Garrett.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like that Entropic Floor tried to answer with the 4 top this time. And here we go with that Talonflame doing the second rotation invade. Such a smart play from Talonflame. It is incredibly hard to adjust to that as a Guardian player.
Yeah, look at the Kirlia. They do a ton of damage with those Psyshocks, but Talonflame is able to take them down. Espeon, though, with the answer immediately, runs in with the stored power. Good choice to go stored power here, especially with a speedster with so much mobility. It's much better to be going stored power so you don't have to aim your moves and you know that damage is going to happen.
I would 100% agree. Looks like we're getting set up mid here with the Crustle and Cramp, and then the Espeon. What a ton of CC just easily to break that passive of Espeon.
Yeah, wow, Espeon living on 1 HP there, but they are going to try to grab some of this farm anyways. The rest of their team is zoning out members of Sundowners. Cramorant going down to that Scyther, and Entropic Floor going to get the best of these mid birds, taking most of that farm. We now have a level 7 Kirlia.
Yeah, something I find really interesting here to deal with is that diving of the Scyther while that Guardy just casts from deep. That is a lot of damage to deal with. Now, don't get me wrong, Sundowners do have that ability to heal that damage back, but it is a scary combo to deal with.
I feel like a speedster mage like combo is so strong because you have to deal with the speedster. So even if they are squishy, the mage is going to get some damage down, but they do have a Gyarados on Sundowners level 7 as well going up against this Eldegoss. So that's going to be Really good for Sundowners to have that Gyarados early, but it looks like they are going to just stay top here with 2 members of Entropic Fleur. The rest of Sundowners is heading to the bottom path.
Yeah, but it looks like we're getting set up here for the bot Reggie this game instead of Regieleki. So it looks like the Sundowners are going to try to start tapping and baiting in the team of Entropic Fleur. Let's see what happens.
Talonflame chipping this down right now. Here comes Cramorant to help. They throw down a couple Hurricanes, and the fly is true. They grab that Regice there for Sundowners, but Scyther hitting a dual wing beat, having to back up there. The Hurricane catching one, but everyone just kind of poking at each other, looking to do a little bit of damage, seeing if they can find an engage point. Talonflame does find a fly on Trevenant, but it's not enough. Here comes the Fairy Singularity, catching one, but that's the only one they catch. Still nobody going down right here. Psychic Solaire is now out. Cressel getting caught. Finally, somebody going down with this little poke fight that's been happening here. Scyther now having to back up. All 5 members of Entropic Fleur are down here pushing this goal.
Yeah, shout out to the support and tank on both teams there, keeping their teammates alive for so long in that poke fight. I do find it interesting that Entropic Fleur did send 5 bot just to let the Gyarados take that Regieleki top and continue getting big. Level-wise, it's still pretty even right now, but that Gyarados definitely has the lead in levels, and that is scary.
I think Entropic Fleur wanted to make sure that they could get this pad, but really solid from the Cramorant using the Gatling Bolt missile to make sure that didn't happen. Scyther getting jumped on right here by the bounce. Looks like they're going to have to back up. Scyther, another dual wing beat, but the flame sweep from Talonflame picks up Eldegoss. I think that's the first time in history a flame sweep has not hit a wall.
Yeah, what a clean flame sweep from that Talonflame there. This push from Sundowners is looking good, but this team of Entropic Fleur is doing a wonderful job holding them off from taking away that tier 1 pad right now.
Yeah, look at this Cramorant as well, moving through the enemy jungle, looking to see if they can grab anything down there as the rest of Sundowners breaking this bottom pad. 40 points going for the Talonflame. Here comes Espeon, though. Cramorant taking a ton of damage right here. They're just going to have to back. We saw the Psychic Solaire come out on the second pad. Talon just getting another stack right there. Just 1 point, but it is still counting for a stack. Meanwhile, Gyarados going down to that Gardevoir in the top path, and they're going to want to put some points in. Scyther getting caught with a Hurricane. Blissey and Cramorant are there to try to defend, and it looks like they are going to be pushing them back, at least for now.
Yeah, interesting that the fight is now breaking out for this top Regieleki. You know, Entropic Fleur could really use that experience from the bottom, or the basement Reggie, excuse me. But up here, it looks like the team of Sundowners are starting to drop a little bit compared to the 3 from Entropic Fleur.
Yeah, 3 members of Entropic Fleur up there. Scyther getting very, very low. Here comes Fairy Singularity, hits nobody. And Gyarados with the big Dragon Current immediately taking down the Scyther, looking to follow up with that Gardevoir. They're pushing them out. Moonblast's not hitting right there, but the bounce is ready. They don't end up jumping in with it. They're going to have to jump away instead. 4 members of Sundowners to 4 members of Entropic Fleur in this top path, just going to have to back up, and there might be a fight breaking out on this Regieleki. This is probably the last chance for these teams to use their Unite moves, and here they go. Rubble Rouser popping out along with the Gatling Bolt missile, hitting Regieleki and Trevenant, forcing Entropic Fleur backwards. Now Fly comes in, but Talon's just going to have to leave it. Look at the Green Illusion Drive coming out into the Psychic Solaire from Espeon, and they pick up 1, but that is all that Entropic Fleur is going to pick up at the moment. Scyther now having to back up. Trevenant looking for an engage again with the Hornleech catching 2. Scyther with another dual wing beat, but they're just too tanky to dive in on that. There's the Fly grabbing Scyther and Espeon, and this is just going back and forth right now, Garrett.
Yeah, these fights from both teams right now are lasting for so long. You know, considering they're so even and they're just splitting and fighting in a very interesting way. Score right now, Sundowners 207 with that big lead to Entropic Fleur's 33. Entropic Fleur does have some work to do, but they are not out of this game yet.
Definitely not yet. They have they've maintained their positions throughout this entire game. They haven't let Sundowners really take advantage of the level lead that they've had. They've done a great job with this defense so far, and getting another 40 on this top path. The Trevenant Gyarados trying to prevent them from getting any more done. Look at the Rock Tomb blocking out that Eldegoss and the Trevenant, but another Hornleech is there, and they pick up Gyarados. This could be time for Entropic Fleur to just go for it here. If they want to pick a fight, now is the time, Garrett.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially since the team Sundowners, oh, I guess Sundowners just got that Unite back on Cram. I was gonna say they didn't have it, but Sundowners having 3 Unites left, and the team of Entropic Fleur only having that Unite move left on Espeon. I'm curious to see how that's gonna work out for them, but it does look like we're ripping.
Very, very low right now, but it is Scyther picks up the secure. All of a sudden, I feel like we were talking about what was going to happen in the fight, and then Ray was super low because of the Scyther Gardevoir chipping at it right there. So really big pickup from Entropic Fleur. They still have to score some points here. 273 to 207. Another 74 going in. Scyther looking to put in another 50. Another 22 goes in, and the other 100 from Scyther does go in, even though the Crustle jumped to the bottom path. So now Entropic Fleur is in the lead. They could be tying this series, but there is still a minute left. And if Sundowners continues to take down members of Entropic Fleur, they just grabbed Scyther. They could make a push here.
Yeah, absolutely. I still think that, it is almost a 300-point difference. Or, excuse me. Well, you guys know what I mean. About
300, yeah, it's something.
Whatever. Yeah. We're close enough. But you never know what could happen in the hands of these teams, especially with some mods that can blow up Pokemon really, really quick. 30 seconds left. It looks like they are pushing this tier 1, and it looks like the Entropic Fleur is going to make the move to just give them that tier 1 and defend their tier 2s.
Yeah, that's probably the smart play. Just giving up the tier 1. They know they're ahead. Psychic Solaire comes out, followed by the Cotton Cloud Crash. Flame Sweep tries to push members of the team out. Crustle with the Rebel Rouser. Blissey going for a 29, but unable to get it in. And a Fairy Singularity that somehow misses everybody. It doesn't look like Sundowners is going to be able to make that push regardless. Even with 2 members down right now, 3 members, 4 members are down for Sundowners, and the team wipe at the end of the game. Scyther with a 2 KO streak to finish it off. What a solid game from Entropic Fleur, and I feel like Scyther is the name of this set right now.
I was thinking the exact same thing. You took the words right out of my mouth, Husky. Scyther is absolutely killing it on both teams here. And, I think that Guardy with those Moonblasts really made a difference there. Moonblast into those a little bit divier comps is such a solid defensive pick.
Oh yeah, Moonblast is really, really good as your backline mage, because even though Gardevoir doesn't have mobility, the stun on something like a Talonflame, something like a Gyarados, can give them time to back up, can give their defender support time to jump in and frontline for them and make sure they stay protected. And I feel like I haven't been liking the Gardevoir as much recently in competitive play, because I feel like the Unite move doesn't make as much of an impact as it could. But look at this Gardevoir with 86,000 damage. I mean, the Scyther's still 97k, but 86,000 damage from the backline. I feel like the Gardevoir looks solid too.
Yeah, absolutely. Great numbers from both teams again. That Blissey healing over 100k again. Shout out to Blissey. And yeah, apparently, whatever team gets Scyther on its hands in this set is very, 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 very scary. Something to keep an eye out for. Maybe we'll even see it banned this coming game.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you think that they would go as far as to ban it here, or even first pick the Scyther? Because seems like both teams have a good Scyther player. Like, I feel like if you can't play it, but you don't want the other team to have it, is when you want to ban it. But both Scythers on either side, Reese playing it last time, and we just saw it popping off in this game as well on Entropic Fleur. Like, I don't know, do they ban it? Or could it be enough for a first pick? Or maybe we see the Cerule Edge come out this time? Who knows?
Right.
I mean, both teams looking really solid. This is going to be a really interesting game 3.
Yeah, I'm very excited for this game 3. But I totally agree. Personally, I would probably go for the ban. Honestly, I wouldn't want either team to have it no matter who I was. So I would just get it off the board. I know that opens up maybe another scary pick. But with Scyther being the biggest damage dealer and the biggest threat on both sides, I think it's a smart mod to just take off the table. And picking
Yeah.
it first pick also opens counters very easily.
Yeah. Speedsters in the first couple slots, I think, is really difficult to make work because speedsters as a class in general just have so many counters to it. But we might see, we could see something interesting. But as I'm getting from the analysts here, Scyther does have 100% win rate in this specific evening's play. So there
Wow.
is 100% Scyther win rate tonight, which is crazy. So we could see something interesting.
Yes, that is absolutely crazy. Scyther looking really, really great right now. Looks like we're sticking with some of the textbook bands here. The
Standard issue
Umbreon
bans.
Blaziken, and then Entropic Fleur going with the Charizard Slowbro again. So yeah, looks
So
like we're sticking with the same band,
yeah,
and somebody is gonna wind up with that Scyther.
nobody's gonna change up the bans, but I mean, if you do ban something like Scyther, then you are risking any of these four Pokemon from being selected. So I think that's something that the teams don't really want to risk taking. Cramorant actually going to be that first pick for Sundowners. They want their cram. They want to keep that cram, so they are going to go ahead and first pick it. In the opposite side, though, Entropic Floor is going to steal the Blissey from Sundowners, which, as you've been pointing out, has looked really strong for Sundowners so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that grab, and it looks like we are just doing a supporter swap here. Eldegoss and Blissey are two of the supporters that have just been so consistent throughout their time in the competitive meta. And I really like to see the Mew pick here. Mew not as popular nowadays, but I still think it is such a solid pick and such an interesting mon to play against.
Sorry, Brent's leaving for work. See ya. Anyway, we do have Mew. I love Mew. I feel like Mew got a little bit nerfed and then everyone was kind of scared. But I was saying this, I forget, probably Kyle, because he's the only person I talk to apparently these days. I was talking to Kyle about how, like, Mew is such a comfort pick for a lot of people because it was broken for so long that so many people learned how to play it. So good Mew players are still ridiculous. And Entropic Fleur is going to be the one to grab the Scyther this time, but in response, Sundowners is going to take the Garchomp, which actually I kind of love.
Yeah, I am loving these picks from the team of Sundowners with the Garchomp, the Mew, and I think they swapped defenders too. I think Sundowners had Tree both games. I could be incorrect with that.
Did they have
No,
to? No,
they
I
didn't.
think
No,
no, I think they had
I'm
the
flipping.
Crustle. They had the
Yeah,
Crustle.
yeah. So, sticking with the same defenders too, and Tree and Crustle also have been so good. And Entropic Floor taking that Urshifu, it looks
Hmm.
like they are gonna be a red bear here, and
Yeah,
I am excited for that.
I feel like Urshifu has kind of slotted back in as that secure tool instead of Blaziken. When Blaziken isn't an option, you kind of want to pick Wicked Blow Urshifu just to give you that extra chance at a good secure. And notice there's not really great secures, of course, besides Egg Bomb, which we know is the most broken secure in the game. On Entropic Floor, they don't really have any other great secures besides the most broken one, Egg Bomb. So they want to get that extra secure of Wicked Blow, which is definitely smart because there's Solar Beam, there's Electro Ball, there's a lot of options for Mew to secure, so you want to have an option to counter that.
Yeah, absolutely. And look at all these ribbons here. A lot of people in this game playing mons that they are quite comfortable on. I am very interested to see what the in Sylveon goes based off of its build. I'm unsure what moves that she's gonna pick.
I kind of like Hyper Voice here, but I wouldn't be upset with Mystical Fire either. I think that Sylveon kind of being the ranged option for Entropic Floor makes it pretty versatile. You can play the Mystical Fire up in your face tanky build, or you could stick back with the Hyper Voice. There's not too much mobility on Sundowners, so going something like Hyper Voice I think makes a lot of sense, but we will just have to see what they do here. Looks like Cubfu heading into the jungle along with the Blissey. Blissey checking for an invade likely, but they are going to go ahead, grab that red buff for the Cubfu. You want to get that thing to level 5 as fast as possible. It is not good early.
Yeah, Absolutely. I 100% agree. The Eldegoss looking to invade here, but the Eldegoss and Blissey just fighting it out for a little bit here, just hitting each other
Yeah.
some support on support violence.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, how
but
broken is invading, right?
right.
Eldegoss is going to steal that away, looking to put 7 in. 3 members of Sundowners now top, but here comes Scyther, ready to fight back. Only 2 members, though, for Entropic Fleur in this top path, so Sundowners getting pretty big here early. Garchomp already into a Gabite.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking good on both teams here. And yep, there it is. We do have the Wicked Blow Urshifu. And, a lot of those birds just went to the team of Sundowners in the top lane. Looks like we got a little kerfuffle here in the bot lane.
Russell with the big rock tube picking up that Fanta, but we do have the Mystical Fire Sylveon coming out, so we were wondering what the Sylveon was going to end up being, but it is going to be Mystical Fire, an Electro Ball coaching, hitting the Sylveon. They are caught out, and wow, what a great Mew combo right there with the rock tomb to take down that Sylveon early.
Yeah, the Crustle from the team of Sundowners has had some massive rock tombs in every single one of the games in this set. Looks like the team of Entropic Floor is struggling to get their defender and their top laner to those level 5s, so Sundowners ahead on levels right now.
Yeah, doing pretty good, as it looks like these birds are spawning in the mid lane here, but Cramorant just going to be able to get them by themselves, and the Mystical Fire Sylveon going to jump on the Mew, force them to grab that berry right there, but Wicked Blow is here to push out that Crustle. 4 members of Entropic Floor trying to push this bottom path. Now 4 members of Sundowners are here to answer it. Trevenant getting caught in a bit of a hurricane, and Mew taking them down, followed by a big Solar Beam to continue pushing them out.
Yeah, definitely one thing that the team of Sundowners has here is incredible amounts of CC. And as all of us Unite players know, CC can change games so quickly.
Oh, 100%. Urshifu with the big Wicked Blow, taking down a lot of those Swablues right there, but the Solar Beam was in response, and they do chunk a lot of Entropic Floor's health right there, but both teams are going to have to back up. Right now, Urshifu heading back into the jungle for Entropic Floor, looking for a couple more levels, while Garchomp is now huge, level 9 in the top path for Sundowners. They may just try to go ahead and rip this Regieleki top, while the rest of the teams fight bottom. Sundowners is starting to chip up this Regice, so that might be the plan for Entropic Floor to just head top.
Yeah, absolutely. Garchomp able to take down that Scyther top, but with the rest of the team of Entropic Floor heading up that top lane, that Garchomp better be careful. Looks like we're going to get the break on the bottom pad from the team of Sundowners, and then we head to this top Regieleki battle.
Here's Garchomp picking up 2 with a big Dragon Claw Dragon Rush combo. They are pressing that A button. How broken is the A button? They still have a Unite move option. Oh, they do not have a Unite move option up, so they have already used it. They are going to have to back up here, as most of Entropic Floor is in the top path, ready to contest this Garchomp. Already level 10, along with Cramorant, who's also level 10. Meanwhile, Urshifu, the only one in Entropic Floor to have a Unite move yet. Big Solar Beam comes down, catching the Trevenant is the Cramorant, pushing the Blissey out. Now here comes a Wicked Blow, and it does grab the Ebon Fist, does pick up the Garchomp, and pushes out 4 members of Sundowners, but they do still get the break anyway, and the big tomb combined with the Hurricane, taking down both Urshifu and Blissey. What a great combo.
Yeah, absolutely. And that Regieleki still being online is scary for the team of Entropic Floor. If Sundowners get that, it's already headed to their tier 2 at 5 minutes. So let's see. Looks like they're going to start ripping it down here.
Garchomp does take that, and I mean, Entropic Floor did grab that game 2 win, but Sundowners is clearly trying to prove that they should not have lost that one, and they want to make sure that they take it from them. Moving now to push onto this tier 2. Trevenant just blows up, followed by Scyther. Mew with a double KO right here. Regieleki easily going to walk in as 3 members of Entropic Floor go down. 4 members now as Blissey is taken out by the Mew for a KO streak of 3.
Yeah, and the team of Sundowners is able to break that tier 2. So, that is a scary look for the team of Entropic Floor. Score being 318 right now. Entropic Floor definitely needs to sit back, get their levels back online, and then start pushing into this team.
Looks like this Regirock has now spawned in the bottom path. A good choice for Entropic Floor, just not to engage with it. Sundowners has definitely proven that they are in the lead right now. Level 12 Garchomp, level 12 Cramorant. So instead, Entropic Fleur is going to try to push into this top path. Tree moving with a Horn Leech, but now that Sundowners is there and ready, I doubt that this push will happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like them looking for the push, but like I said, they just need to try to get value wherever they can on this map right now. They do not want to be getting into little battles with this team at this moment. Sundowners really came in hot on this game, but the Scythe are able to pick up 2 picks in the bottom lane, and it looks like they are finding some value down there.
Yeah, at least they're able to get value somewhere. They are going to put in 50. They're just going to go ahead and break this goal. May as well. They're still down 199 points right here. So they have a lot to make up. But moving now into the central area, Blissey was looking for a little bit of an invade there, not able to find anything. But now that Regieleki is spawning in the top path, this is Sundowners' opportunity to send it moving toward Entropic Fleur's home base.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if Sundowners decide to just go for a full rip right now, or if they're going to wait and hold it a little bit longer so that it goes in closer to the time of Rayquaza with that, giving them that win con again, having that home base Lecky, and maybe even the ability to rip Rayquaza with that Garchomp.
That's a really good point, and I honestly didn't even think of that because I thought that we were earlier in the game than we actually are. We're at 3 minutes right now, so holding the Regieleki is a really good option for them to send it more toward when Rayquaza would be spawning. But to answer that, Entropic Fleur is going to put some more points in on the Tier 2 bottom path, but Trevenant's still getting caught out as a result. Not the worst Pokemon to get caught out right there for Entropic Fleur. I feel like the scores bottom path were worth it, but it is going to mean that Sundowners is going to send this early. 225, it's going to be chopped down by that Garchomp and sent toward the base. I mean, Entropic Fleur could go for trying to make sure that it doesn't go. They could try to rip it down real quick, but it looks like they're just gonna let it walk here.
Yeah, looks like we got some early engaging going on here, and the fight is about to start already. It looks like we got the Fairy Frolic from the Sylveon, and Unite moves are starting to pop left and right, Husky.
Looks like the Phantom Forest is now out. Trevenant getting very, very low, having to pop the Rubble Rouser. Is that Crustle? 2 members of Sundowners have gone down already. Garchomp and Eldegoss are down. Every single Unite move has been expended on Sundowners. This is the time for Entropic Fleur, but Urshifu getting caught by the Cramorant in the bottom. Cram is now going to have to reset. And the Crustle fighting with the Sylveon, but here comes Mew with a big boosted attack. Sylveon is very, very low, but Blissey is there to heal them up, and Entropic Fleur is just going to have to set up for a refight. But now only Eldegoss has a Unite move available on the field, so it's going to be a hard fight for Entropic Fleur to win.
Yeah, absolutely. I really like what Entropic Fleur did there. They just stayed back instead of trying to do anything with that Regieleki to get their levels, and look how much of a difference it made.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They got so many levels on there, but Trevenant did go down. Here comes the Cotton Cloud Crash on top of the Garchomp, and there they go. Cramorant with a 2 KO streak. Garchomp picking up Sylveon, and there goes the Urshifu as well. Only Blissey and Trevenant remain on the field, and Sundowners isn't even going to bother with Rayquaza. They're just going to continue to put points on the board. There's a minute left on the clock, and no reason for Sundowners to go for this Rayquaza.
Absolutely. With all the damage from Entropic Fleur being down, that is really unfortunate for them because they can't even try to answer with the Rayquaza, considering there are only 30 seconds left in this game, and the points are just raining in right now from the Sundowners.
Sundowners definitely likely going to take this one, but Mew going down right here, but 2 members of Entropic Fleur have also gone down. Look at this Crustle blocking with the Rock Tomb, and this Garchomp is just able to chop everybody up. KO streak of 3. Rock Tomb slows down the Sylveon. They're very, very low, trying to get back. I think that they will be getting out on 1 HP in a dream right there, but the rest of Sundowners has made it very, very clear that they are able to take this game number 3, making it a 2-1 win for Sundowners. Very convincingly as well. I love how the Garchomp looked there.
Yeah, what a great opening set, though. Wonderful play from both teams. Some really tight matches here, and that makes me excited to see what is going to happen in the rest of this top 8 tournament.
550 to 220, your final score for Sundowners, and they looked absolutely dominant that entire game. We saw 2 games before this that were very close between the 2 teams, but I think this cemented it right here that Sundowners did very, very well.